And welcome back. Joining us for our first conversation are representatives from BEL to talk to us about their universal access initiatives in Revitalized, their Revitalized system expansion, connecting homes, improving lives, and their Golden Citizens program. Joining us is Ms. Celina Gill, who is the Manager for Customer Care, and Ms. Vonetta Burrell, who is the Manager for Public Relations. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Thanks for having us.
So did you get up early this morning? Is it okay?
A little bit earlier than usual, but
yeah. But for a good cause. Yes. So you're talking about universal access. What does that mean?
Okay, one of the things that we are focusing on for the past 3 years is to ensure that we meet a target that we have to ensure that at least 99% of the country has access to electricity by the year 2020. So routinely, the nature of the business means that we need to expand our service into new and developing areas. But also we have come to find that you have very old communities that are still without power, mostly because of the layout of the country. We are sparsely populated, we have a small population. And so to get power into certain areas, it requires a lot of investment. So we know that that is something critical to development, which is in line with our mission to make sure that we improve the quality of life and also stimulate national development. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that people across the country have access to electricity. So the Revitalized System Expansion Program is one in which, while throughout the years we have been expanding, we have a focus right now to make sure we expand at a faster rate to match development and the needs of our population. So this program started in about 3 years ago, and we've had a push, and we are proud to say that since then we have connected about 69 new communities. Some of these are expansion areas, like in San Pedro, where you have developments and they didn't have power, like San Mateo. You also have Keycocker, North Keycocker. The island has a split, but across from the split, they never had power. And you have people who have invested in resorts, Belizeans who want to develop themselves. So we have extended over the split to there. Also in the south, you have areas like Elridgeville and older communities in the south, Bladen. These are communities that have been in existence for a very long time, and they didn't have power. So these are some of the areas that we have expanded into.
Yeah.
So that's the...
Let's look at your target. You said is 2020 for universal access. And let's talk about where you started in terms of the percentage of the population that had access to electricity and where you are now.
Well, currently we have 92% coverage.
Okay.
So 92% of the country has access to power.
And in terms of persons or communities, do you have a number for that?
Well, in terms of the reach for this program with the 69 communities, it's over 3,000 households up until the end of last year, and more has been added since then.
You're absolutely right when you talk about the level of investment that is necessary in terms of being able to get into the different communities. When you talk about the South, for example, many of the villages in the deep South have not had electricity. They've been used to it for so long. And I think when we live in the city, we forget these type of realities that take place. What is it like being able to make the proper investment, understanding that those communities themselves will be growing? If you look at the San Antonio Road, that is going to push a lot of development in that area. So if you're going to electrify, how do you ensure that it will be able to meet future demands?
Okay, well, if we could backtrack a bit to explain how we determine what areas to go into, I think that's the most critical thing to have the community understand. That we look at 3 factors before we decide how to prioritize these communities.
Okay.
We look at the age of the community, we look at the cost to run the investment in terms of the installation of the infrastructure, and we look at the benefit per household, or the cost per household, sorry. So if you have a community which has 300 people in it, and the cost to extend the system to that area will come out to a value of $50 per household, but you have an old community that has less people in it, and the cost is much less, then we will go with that older community. So we have to prioritize how we do the expansion, and we have to take those 3 things into mind every time we're moving.
Yeah.
But the aim is to make sure that we cover everybody.
Right.
And one of the things that we ask is that we might not be aware of all the development that's taking place. So as we go out, we have a team that goes out to investigate what areas are coming up, like you said. How is it developing? At what pace is it developing? Because that might play a factor as well. We might see a community grow rapidly. You have an area like Bella Vista in the Toledo district where that community grew exponentially within a short space of time, and we expanded there. Right,
even here in the city, we had Balama Phase 4 that grew. We have the areas by Gungulung that have been growing. And I want to bring it back into the city because we know there are some areas that still haven't been able to get access, and they find other means to be able to do so. I know you've been speaking about that continuously and the challenges that it causes on your end. So let's talk about that for a bit.
Again, in the city, there are areas without power. One of the, besides the three criteria that we look at in regards to determining the areas that we will go into, when speaking from priority, but there's also infrastructure, the surveyed lands. There's some areas in the city that have not been surveyed, and we cannot go in and put infrastructure in an area that has not been surveyed. So until that is done, then we can go in and put infrastructure. We don't want to run into a scenario where we have put our infrastructure in place and then a pole is in the middle of somebody's property after it has been surveyed. So there's that limitation also. So until that is completed for some areas, then we can go in. It also brings up the one of the areas that has been of concern for us, in that you have, as a result, customers stealing power, for lack of a better word.
The illegal
connections.
So that's either extension cord from your neighbor or directly from the line,
and they put their lives at risk. Loss of property, loss of lives, which is more, is a sad situation. And so we have, as long as it is a surveyed area, the system expansion will work. The Connecting Homes program, which allows us to assist customers who may not be in a position to wire their homes and install a service entrance. We provide for that at this point. But
that's customers,
the Connecting Homes Improving Lives, that's the name of the program. We ask customers to come in. They have to be able to pay a bill. There's an application process that needs to be completed with a valid social security ID, proof of income. We do that application process. We visit the site to ensure, again, is it a surveyed area, access to the nearest the voltage lines in place. And so once that is completed and we have determined that that customer qualifies, then they fall into the priority list of getting connected. But we encourage customers to come in that would like electricity, is they're getting power from a next door neighbor by an extension cord. They're paying $50 to that customer, when in reality their electricity bill could be far less. And so we encourage customers to come in any of the offices, and it's not limited to the city, it's countrywide, to visit our office and get the application process going, so that we can make that site visit and finalize their qualification and process and get them connected.
Now, if somebody has been using an illegal connection, asking them to come in and say, well, please connect me the right way, there might be a bit of hesitation in terms of will I be persecuted for the means I have been using before? What do you say in terms of those who recognize that they would prefer to have the safer, legitimate connection about coming in to enroll in this program?
And that's the thing, it's a matter of lives being at risk, properties being at risk. You might see your entire life go up in flames, whether you as a person or your property, your possessions. And so our aim is to make sure that people understand that trying to access something as essential as electricity is a matter of life and death. So while yes, we want to make sure that we don't have an accumulation of people who are stealing power, we want them to feel comfortable that this is a program in which we're trying to help you, help yourself, and save your life and maybe some lives around you. We had some advertisements out where we actually had some of the people who were like that. They were stealing. They became aware of the program. They thought that they didn't have a choice, because we know it's a challenge to be able to afford the service entrance. We know that people out there can pay an electricity bill, but it's just that infrastructure to get them properly connected that we know is the hurdle that they want to overcome. And so that's what we're aiming to make sure we get as many people to come in to apply. And one of the things still going forward with this program, it's not about just a handout. It's also about responsibility. If you are given this benefit where you are provided a service entrance and you are able to cover the cost of your bill, it comes with a commitment. So you get this, but it means you have to pay your bill. And we have had excellent success with the people who have connected using that medium. And what we want to do going forward is to ask them to pay a little towards the wiring, nothing upfront, to make sure that, you know, once you know that you have an investment in something and it's at a very minimal cost, it's towards the aim of helping somebody else. Because if they're helping to put contributions to it, we're able to give this service to many more people out there.
And we know that BEL traditionally provides, you know, traditional electricity. And piggybacking off that question, for the people who are in the areas that aren't surveyed, or for the people who want to be connected but they're not, you know, able to get the financial startup to get the service entrance, or for those long-standing customers who probably want to be more green in their electricity, what are some of the innovative ways that BEL is trying to provide power for Belizeans?
Well, we have several studies underway. We know that we need to balance the sources. And I'm proud to say that BEL, or Belize, is a country that accesses over 50% renewable energy. We recently signed a new power purchase agreement for renewable energy with SS Energy Limited. That's Bagash. So we are always constantly trying to make sure that we use the cleanest energy sources, because we have a standard to maintain. And we want to make sure we have as many options of local generating sources as well. So those are things that we plan with that in mind.
And of course, greener energy or locally sourced energy means more reliable service, which is always a concern. Now, it doesn't matter if it's one blackout for the month, it's always one too much. So let's just talk about what it has been like in terms of being able to provide a constant, reliable service to your existing customers, and have them understand perhaps why we still see some of the challenges that we do.
Okay, well, the nature of the business is that this is a man-made industry where the infrastructure is man-made. We have to succumb to the elements sometimes. Sometimes you might have an accident that hits the pole that causes an outage. We have to do maintenance on our system. So it does require some downtime, but at the same time we know that reliability is key. We have, if you're providing a service, you want that service consistently. So that's one of the factors in why we are looking for more local sources, because the more options you have, if we have an event on the system and we lose a source, we can bring it back up with another, and at times you won't even see the difference because you won't lose power. That's one of the things that we're doing to ensure that we have reliability. We have studies underway. We're also looking at areas where there is rapid development, like San Pedro. So we're working towards finding an alternative option for San Pedro because it's growing. San Pedro and Kikaker. Kikaker is the only location in the country that's not connected directly to the grid. They're still being supplied by generation, like local, regular diesel generators, which is not green. It's not the best option. So we have a study underway to determine the feasibility of that connection to San Pedro through to Kikaker, and as well have a option that if we lose the first connection, we have another one. So those are things that we've been planning for, and we have studies underway. So that's something that you might be hearing about later this year.
And we know that customer care is really important, but how important is it for them to be able to provide information to BEL in the areas that, and how can they provide that information?
Yes, key. We need to hear from our customers. We need them to keep their account information updated at all times. There are several mediums. There is email. They can call in, they can walk in, they can text in that information to us. There's Facebook also that they can send a message. We encourage customers to always keep their account updated. It allows us to provide information to them on the fly, current, whether it is in relation directly to their particular account and or outages and or company information of activities that we have going on. It is very key because this leads me into our Goal and Citizen program. Once we have that information updated, phone numbers, social security cards, numbers, it allows us to select our Goal and Citizens. Our Goal and Citizen program has been in place for about 4 years. We started off with about 50 awardees. That was the first number of Goal and Citizens that we selected. And I am proud to say that in 2017, we have now increased that number to over 1,100 customers.
Wow.
What will they be getting? Well, let me step back. Who qualifies? Goal and Citizens who have an account in their name. The account has to be in their name. They have their card on file with us. We have one account, residential, regardless of consumption level. They all are in that pool. And from that, we have selected 1,100 customers who will get a discount on their bill for this entire period of 2017. And so every month they will see a credit on their account up to 60 kilowatts. And then so it doesn't limit to the number of customers or those that have smaller bills. There may be some who are on the lower spectrum of that their bill will be paid in its entirety. And then there'll be others that will get a max credit amount, and then they just pay the difference.
This is fantastic. I think in a country where, and we've had many conversations with the Aging Council, with HelpAge, we still don't see the type of appreciation for golden citizens that we would like to see. I think this is a great. I remember you guys coming 4 years ago and talking about the 50, and to expand to 1,100 is definitely a great sign of your commitment. What has been the feedback in terms of people coming in to submit their information and wanting to get on the program, and those who have been selected?
Oh, it's been fantastic. We have the Golden City. We visit them, and I must say it's just not limited to putting that credit on their account. We go out and literally visit each one of these awardees, and so they look forward to that visit. The visits are done by all our employees across the country, across departments. It's not limited to customer care, and the employees are aware that it's not a 5-minute visit to stop in and see they're here, checklist.
Let's give you a perspective as well. A program like that is in line with our mission to improve the quality of life, and it was initiated actually by our staff. So a lot of the things that you see us doing, it's not necessarily company driven or initiated by the company. This was initiated by a member of the customer care team who was helping a senior citizen pay her bill. And other staff became aware of it, and they asked, why can't the company assist people in this condition? And that's how it grew. And our employees are so fully immersed in volunteerism. We have been able to do a lot. They have given their time, and the Golden Citizens program is one that is very impacting because while we know that we're helping senior citizens, these are people that we know. These are your past teachers, past police officers, maybe somebody who used to be a housewife and is a relative. You know that when you reach a certain age, you might not have all the resources. So the discount that we provide is just to make sure that they remember that we honor you for what you did in your community, and we're trying to make, and as much as we can, life a little bit easier. And the visits, like Ms. Gill said, makes a big difference because some of them look forward to the visits from our employees. And so, we have to give credit where credit is due. The Golden Citizens program is something that we are proud to say was initiated by our own employees.
Fantastic. Right? So currently it's 1,100 Golden Citizens. How do people enroll for that program?
It's a random selection.
And that's why we encourage the updating of the accounts. We encourage them to, you have in some cases, the accounts may be in the name of the child or the person responsible. Those accounts wouldn't be picked up, and so
Right.
the account has to be in the name of a Golden citizen, and their social security card has to be presented, so we have that on file. We do a selection based on the criteria, and then do a sample, taking 1,100 customers. We hope that with every year we can increase the number that we are assisting. Last year it was 500, this year it's 1,100, so
So next year it's 2,000.
we never know.
Maybe we keep the trend going.
7,000.
We have 7,000 Golden citizens. We have 4,000 registered with us. There are 4,000 that have a single account, because that's it. It has to be their home.
Yes.
It has to be their home. And so the visits allow us to ensure that it's a home, that they're there. And the opportunity to get to know the customers, because what we also get from that visit is whether they need assistance, and then we also include them in our Christmas hamper program. So they got, at the end of this past Christmas, 66 Golden citizen
care packages.
got Christmas packages with food, and so the visit is covers different areas. Yes, so 1,100. Hopefully, we can increase that again in the following year as we go along. So.
Now, I wanna talk about customer care specifically in terms of looking at delivering or catering to the concerns of the public. We know that people are watching right now with some sort of complaint, whether it's the service or impact because of blackouts or whatever it is. Let's talk about some of the ways that you encourage people to reach out to customer service to be able to take care of their concerns.
Please contact us. We have a 0800 number that we have staff on board from 8 to 6 daily, that they can reach us and make that complaint. There is email, customercare@bel.com.bz. There is, they can text us at 235 and send us their concern. We will respond, whether it's by text or even a return phone call.
Okay.
There's also walk-in as always, but there's no need to. There are the other mediums that you can use, Facebook Messenger also.
I know that BEL is really active on Facebook.
Yes,
There's
and
a
so
lot
they
of-
can use that, and we take that information and it comes down to our department, and then we make contact with the customers.
Yeah.
So please do not hesitate to contact us and let us know what your concern is, and we will do our very best to resolve those
And just
concerns.
remember, our 800 number is open 24 hours.
Yeah.
We're an essential service, and so we are available toll-free 24 hours a day.
And how important is it? Well, I know it's really important, especially when it comes to your monthly bill. You don't want it to be very inconsistent. It's good to have a predictability, so to speak, in terms of how much you're going to pay, so that you could, when you're you have a family, you want to budget. What are some of the ways in which BEL is providing tips and information on how you can be better at managing your electricity bill and the way that you consume electricity?
What we do encourage customers to conserve at all times.
Right.
We do offer tips from time to time on how to do that. And customers need to be aware of what's happening in their household. A lot of times a simple change over a couple of days will impact your bill.
That's true.
And they are not aware of that. And so when a customer has a high bill complaint, we try our best. First of all, we look at trends. You look at, have that dialogue with them. Has something changed? Did you have some visitors? Did you buy a new appliance? And so you go through that process in trying to understand what has been happening within the household, and have that customer understand if there is indeed has been a legitimate increase, or if there's a concern that we need to look at. And we will work with that customer to see how best we can get that resolved to address their concern of whether the consumption has gone up.
Yeah.
Christmas will be perfect. We have Christmas lights up a lot. Children at home, where refrigerators will be on, games will be played, ACs are on, mom and dad is at work, so they're in the room and the AC is going all day. Those types of things happen and will affect someone's bill for a given month. So we have that discussion.
Yeah.
And it's true, because when you have even more electronics, your iPad, your phone, some people have multiple phones, and you keep it plugged in, even though you're not using it, it's still drying.
Heating elements, anything with heating elements will drive that. So
Important that people know
So of course, that's one thing people can keep in mind when they see any kind of spike in their bill. But if they're concerned, they can contact you and you can help
we
to
will
sort
work
them out with it.
We will do that walkthrough with them, yes.
All right, so let's do an outlook for 2017 with the 3 programs. We spoke about Golden Citizens expanding to 1,100. Let's talk universal access, what areas can be expecting to be electrified in the near future. And also, one last time, just looking at the connecting homes, the criteria once again.
Okay, well, the universal access is countrywide.
Yes.
We are not, our system expansion is not limited to any specific area. Just like I said before, we look at the 3 criteria.
Yeah.
The age of the community, the population of the community, the cost to run the system into that area, and the cost per household. So it's about need and cost and balancing both. That helps us to decide which areas to go into first. But it's countrywide. There's no limit as to what areas we will go into.
You're going to get there.
And you also mentioned that if there is a community that feels maybe they've been missed somehow, they can contact you and let you know.
Yes. That's how we're made aware of a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because people actually come to us. We've gotten some people who message us on Facebook to say, could you please look into my neighborhood? We've been here for a while and we've been without. And before you know it, they get connected.
Or you have customers who come in and apply for a connection, and when we get out to the area, you realize, hey, there's a bunch of people. There are more people that can benefit from this.
Yeah.
And so then we go out there and do that survey and get them connected. So by all means, let us know, and we will get out there. We do send a team out to do the survey, and they do take all the information that needs, the cost and the number of homes.
Yeah.
Key to that, obviously, is the number of homes ready to be connected, and development, short, long term, that we look at. So we encourage customers, yes, let us know, and we will get out there and do that survey, and then, like using the criteria that we spoke about earlier, the communities are then connected.
And if you are personally interested in getting connected, you can apply for the Connecting Home Improving Lives program. And as you pointed out, you have to bring a job letter, proof of income,
Proof of income,
And a valid social security card.
and valid social
And you have to visit
security.
the office.
Visit the office as an application form to be completed.
So you essentially just have to say that you're capable of paying your bill
Yeah.
if you go ahead and cover the
qualify,
installment for
yes.
them, right?
And a part of the visit to the home will also help the homeowner to understand what their cost would be.
Okay.
Because going in there and seeing, okay, this person only has a fan and a couple little outlets, more or less this is what your bill is going to be. But if you add these things to it, this is what it's going to look like. So we don't just give the service and walk away.
Yeah.
When we're there trying to assess, okay, how feasible is it for you to maintain this supply, you know right away what are the things that you need to do to make sure you can afford it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for updating us on the ongoing programs coming out of BEL. Anything else you'd like to say to your customers?
I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage customers to keep their account updated with us. Change a phone number, change an email. Please let us know. It allows us to provide you with information on the fly, and keep in contact with you, being able to reach you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about wellness for a better you. So stay tuned.